I just got back from a little getaway, and it was only 5 days away. And since I've gotten back, I have been trying to keep that vacation mindset going. And quite honestly, it's a struggle. You know, it was 8 hours for us to drive to this destination and then another ferry ride. But somehow, the minute that we arrived at our destination, it felt like we had been sort of transported to a completely different world. And yet it really wasn't. And I think that what stuck with me most was that feeling of just kind of, you know, a little more balance in my day. And I got to do things that I just normally don't get to do in my everyday life. For example, 3 of the mornings, Alex and I got up and we just headed out on our bike early. For literally 3 or 4 hours we were gone. We would wander into shops, we'd stop at cafes, and had leisurely lunches while we were there. We got dressed up, went out for dinner, and we would sit out on the patio, and nobody seemed to be in a hurry at this place. The challenge is, how do you keep this positive energy going when you get back to your real life? And this got me thinking that when you're caught up in your everyday routines in life, your work, your appointments, responsibilities, the house, things that need to get done, it's actually really hard to look beyond what's right in front of you, what the next task is. But when you step away, even just for that 5 days, it can be transforming. It can even just be while you're there. It would be great if it could follow you home and you could carry on with that mindset. Your mind just gets quiet enough when you're away to think again. And I found myself feeling super grateful for the things that I probably take for granted in my everyday life. I started to get inspired about things at my house again, projects that I want to do, things that I want to change in my gardens, little ideas that I haven't had the mental space to even think about on a day-to-day basis. And I think that's one of the real purposes of vacation. It's not necessarily about going somewhere spectacular or being away for a long extended period of time if you're not in a position to do that. Sometimes it's just about creating enough distance between your everyday life to see life just a little bit differently. And so I came home last week feeling, pretty inspired just about different things. And I think that's important because when your personal life feels full and meaningful, then you have something to draw from when you show up at your life, when you show up at your work. So for me, feeling inspired in my life just helps me do a better job at work. So maybe the reminder for me, and maybe the reminder for you too, is that you don't always need a big escape. Sometimes we just need to give ourselves enough space to breathe, to think, and to remember what you're building in your life in the first place. And that's what this little 5-day trip meant for me. It was a reset, a little perspective, and a whole lot of gratitude.